What's up, everybody? My name is Ty, and this is my 2002 Z06, aka the Bully. I'm going to get to the testing videos in just a sec. I'm just going to go over a couple of the current details on the car, on its current setup, and some of the changes that I've made to it. So the motor is still a Texas Speed 408 LQ9 short block that was freshly rebuilt by Joaquin over at JMS Racing this past summer. We remachined it just to get all the deck nice and smooth and true for a set of the new heads that are on it now, which are the TrickFlow 255 Gen X heads. Prior to that, this car has always had bone stock LS3 heads on it, meaning that the heads that I've competed with the previous Texas 2Ks were bone stock. They were LS3 heads, completely unported, untouched, with nothing done to them at all. And so I basically just started getting to the limitations of the clamping force that those heads are able to provide, on top of the lack of flow from those heads. And so the combination of those two were equaling the heads beginning to lift with the power ranges that I was trying to keep the car at. So I went ahead and upgraded to the TrickFlow 255 Gen X's that have a nice CNC port to get the exhaust flow a lot better, which will help keep the heads down. Definitely having a stronger casting and taller deck is better for clamping force. And of course, now, as you can see, we've added this exhaust, this downpipe. It's a 5-inch hood exit exhaust. And for many people who know me, know I don't like race car stuff on my car. I try to keep it as street as possible. This car still has AC, power steering, has a sound system, and I've owned it for 13 years, and it's pretty much as close to the way it was the day I bought it now as it was back then. So the exhaust is, although it's cool and it provides a really nice light show, it is actually a functional deal. The reason we did it was, one, to increase spool time, although the turbo already spools very fast, but to increase spool time, and secondly, and probably most importantly, to keep the back pressure down when I'm really cranking on the boost at an event like Texas 2K. And so that is pretty much the purpose of the hood exit. A lot of Mustangs and F-bodies, even the big turbo GTRs, they all run, some sort of dump or hood exit or bumper exits, and a lot of that is because of restriction, and they're just trying to keep things free flowing. So I finally did it just for this event. I may or may not keep it this way. I still have the full exhaust to put back on. As you can see, I have another hood. This is a hood I got from a buddy of mine. Shout out Roger, thank you for the hood. And I think it matches pretty good. So anyhow, so that's why I did it. I still have my other hood. I might be switching back and forth depending on the season or what I'm doing with the car. So if you saw my dyno video, the car made what it usually does, but I'm even less boost now. So 1250 some change, 1270, whatever. It did good. It makes over 1200 all the time, but it did it on very low boost compared to what we would have to push in previous years. This car has had this turbo setup on it for 5 years, and prior to that it was supercharged, and this will be the seventh or eighth Texas 2K I've made it to in a row. I don't want to jinx anything, but it's hard for many people out there who are building cars and are thinking about getting into building cars and things of that nature. The first time you build it is the easiest time. Keeping it running is the hardest part, and I would not be able to do it without the help and support of a lot of my good friends. JMS Racing, Monster Clutch, Johnson. It's hard to keep these cars together and running, especially if you race them the way I race this thing, which I try to race every opportunity I get. So anyhow, so we get to the test videos. I went out and did some testing this week. The car was making approximately 11 to 1150 on these test hits, taking off in second gear from 60 miles an hour. I did not do this for stats. I was doing this more to just make sure the car is ready to go. I try to simulate what it's like racing all the time. Whenever I test, I think it's very important to test because, especially for an event like Texas 2K, you know, guys, don't go out there with an untested car. A lot of the fresh new builds, that, you know, I know it's hard, crunch time. Sometimes you just get things done and you make it. I've been there, but you know, I've always prided this car on being consistent. And the reason it's consistent is because I test the hell out of it. So I went out, made some test hits, made about 3-4 hits. Like I said, around 18-19 pounds of boost, somewhere in that range, which is 1150. It was about 45 degrees outside on this closed road, so I did not want to push it into any dangerous horsepower levels. I just wanted to get a feel for it and get used to having flames shoot out of my hood, which is something to get used to, but I've been driving this car for a really long time, so once I get going and I start to brake boost, I can do it really quick. So it's just like getting right back on a bike for me. So again, some of the 60 to 30 times won't be impressive. However, the 100 and 150 times were very, very impressive. Every single hit was in the threes, which is where it needs to be to contend with, you know, 12, 13, 1400 horsepower GTRs. Your 100, 150 better be in the threes. That means up top you're really moving. 3-second range is what I'm talking about on the Draggy GPS. So that's why I mainly did it, was to try to keep that or try to test that out to make sure it's making what it's supposed to make and doing what it's supposed to do up top. And again, to simulate the conditions on what it's like to race, taking off from second gear and things of that nature for me now. And so yeah, so check out the videos. Let me know what you think. I will put together some more videos here real soon this weekend or during the week, and I'm gonna go over the specifics of the setup, some past races, some upcoming things I'm gonna be doing with it, what I've changed on it this current time around for what we're looking at now. So like, subscribe, let me know what you want to know about the car, and I will do my best to get around to making a video on it. And see you next time.